Today's briefing is going to cover the week ahead, October 12th to the 18th. Before we get into too much detail about what's going on with the forecast over the next week, I want to just take a minute or two to look back at how much precipitation we got over the area from Friday to Sunday. It was kind of a cloudy, gray weekend, and really, depending on where you were at, dictated how much rainfall you got. Certainly not unexpectedly, the mountains did the best overall. You can see on this map here, which is a 72-hour rainfall total map. Some spots in the mountains got 3, 4, 5+ inches. You can even see some reports around 6 inches in the far southwestern part of the state. Across central North Carolina, however, the triangle area got anywhere from 1 to maybe 2 inches of rain. The triad got anywhere from 2 to 3 inches of rain, but then you start to get toward the coastal plain. In some spots, barely got to half an inch. So really how much rainfall you saw this weekend really dependent on where you are at. Will we get any more today? We'll cover that here in a couple minutes. Let's start with the tropics, though. It is still tropical season. So the rainfall that we got was actually lingering moisture associated with the remnants of tropical cyclone Delta. That's what brought us the cloudy conditions, the humid air mass, kind of the warmer temperatures that we hadn't seen for a couple days. Delta has dissipated, though, so it's no longer going to be a factor in our weather. Actually, the remnant circulation associated with Delta is actually sitting probably somewhere around Fayetteville this morning. But in terms of impacts, it's long since done. Our heavy rain threat has ended. And you don't even see it on this map anymore. The Hurricane Center isn't, producing advisories for it anymore. What you do see, however, is an area, east of the Windward Islands. And the Hurricane Center has been watching this for a little while. They've got it tagged, actually with a 30% chance of development over the next couple of days. At this stage of the game, we're not forecasting any impacts across central North Carolina. But, like I said, it's still tropical season, so stay tuned for updates. And if it does become a named storm, next on the list of names is Epsilon. So we will see what happens with that wave in the next couple days. So let's talk about the weather here, the upcoming weather pattern. Today, you can see on the map, there's a real weak area of low pressure. And like I said, that's the remnant circulation associated with Delta. That's just exiting stage right. We'll have the clouds out there. They will linger today. We will actually see some additional showers develop this afternoon, mainly to the east of Raleigh. Now, there's some very light precipitation out south of the Triad right now and moving in just to the east of Charlotte. Not much of that is really hitting the ground. We will see some showers develop east of Raleigh later today. Rainfall amounts are going to be real light, though, so it's not going to be too big of a deal. Those showers will dissipate tonight, and we're probably going to see quite a bit of fog develop overnight. We had some fog this morning. It's pretty much gone at this point, but it's going to be another foggy morning tomorrow morning. So if you have to be out and about, be on the lookout for that. However, by tomorrow afternoon, by Tuesday afternoon, we are going to see some drier air start to make its way in from the west. So folks out near the Triad will notice conditions are going to become much more comfortable by late tomorrow morning, early tomorrow afternoon. And then by the time we get into the afternoon and evening hours around Raleigh and into the coastal plain, afternoon, evening hours, you're going to start feeling a lot more drier air moving into the area. It's going to feel nice. That is going to result in dry weather for Wednesday, Thursday. Daytime highs are going to cool off a little bit. We're not going to be looking at highs in the 80s anymore. We're going to be looking at maybe mid 70s, upper 70s. Overnight temperatures, though, are going to cool off quite a bit. Once we get later in the week, though, we will have a cold front that comes through, bringing a chance of showers Friday into Friday night. We're not expecting any severe weather. We'll cover that in a minute. But there is going to be an increasing chance of showers and thunderstorms late in the week. And then the big return of fall-like weather is scheduled for this weekend. We have a Canadian high-pressure system moving in, and every time we see that, we tend to get cooler, drier air. realistically, some spots are going to see temperatures struggle to reach the 60s over the weekend. So, Winston-Salem, Greensboro, you folks out there are going to struggle to get to 60 Saturday and Sunday. Raleigh, you might get into the low 60s. Same with, folks in Fayetteville. But, it's going to feel much more, it's going to feel much more appropriate for this time of year. Let's go forward to severe thunderstorm potential. Really, the Storm Prediction Center has a very small area of what we call general thunder highlighted east of Raleigh. Isolated thunderstorms are possible later today, but really we're not expecting any impacts really whatsoever with any of that. And, for that matter, we're not really expecting any severe weather whatsoever Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at any point. Let's look at rainfall totals here over the next 7 days. You can see on the map for today, you see some real light shades of green, some pockets of, a little darker green east of Raleigh, really from I-95 eastward. Rainfall totals are going to be real light. I mean, those green colors correspond to maybe 1/10 of an inch. Maybe up to 1/4 of an inch if you happen to get trapped under a storm, but it's not going to last that long at all. Once we get into Tuesday, Wednesday, though, completely dry. This Thursday and Friday map, the rainfall that you see here is very light, and most of that's actually going to fall on Friday. And then once we get into Saturday and Sunday, you can see, dry across the area once again. So, we're not looking at any excessive rainfall or really anything like we saw this weekend a couple days ago. We're not looking at anything like that. It's going to be a lot drier coming up. And I figured for grins, let's take a look at the 6 to 10 day outlook from the Climate Prediction Center. Yeah, we have this cold front coming through late in the week into the weekend. And, what are the chances that cooler air is going to stick around for portions of next week? And the answer is there's a really good probability that temperatures are going to be below normal once we get into next week. It's perhaps maybe a little more uncertain as to what our rainfall chances will be. The odds are tilted maybe a little bit more in favor of below normal chances when you get down into the southeastern part of the state, but it's really a bit of a toss-up once you get into central North Carolina. We will see, how things evolve with that tropical system out there, but by and large, I think it's a safe bet to say below normal temperatures are in the cards for the weekend ahead and into early next week. So summarizing, like I said, we're watching the tropics for development. Nothing is imminent across North Carolina at this time, but, as always, stay tuned. Things can change. Clouds that are out there right now, they will linger. We will see some additional showers develop later today, mainly to the east of Raleigh. Fog is possible overnight tonight. It could be dense in some areas, so we'll have to see how that plays out. Be careful if you have to be out and about during the early morning hours on Tuesday. But we are going to see some drier air move in Tuesday afternoon into Wednesday and Thursday. Highs will generally be in the upper 70s. Maybe it gets close to 80 here in Raleigh for a few minutes. A cold front's going to move through Friday into Friday night, and that will knock temperatures. That'll be the start of the arrival of fall weather, and we will struggle to see temperatures get to 60 by the time we get into the weekend. I didn't mention this earlier, but we're going to be looking at some areas that see lows in the upper 30s, maybe even mid-30s in the normally colder spots, so it wouldn't be a surprise in the least if you start hearing mentions of frost in some of the cooler, more outlying areas late this weekend, possibly into next week.